In 20XX is a journey into the singularity, year by year. Based on hard science, this series showcases emerging tech and searches for what is possible. The story changes as tech evolves. Rate the show so others can find it. Cautionary listening is advised.
On the moon, the Port Monk building, one of the older buildings on the moon, rests under meters of regolith. Only its 6 bays reach the surface. It was made to move cargo to and from the rockets on the landing field and maintain high-speed communications with Earth. Botbirds fly in the geodesic dome interior and perch on suspended crane runways. After years, half of the crates remain unopened. A wisp of a person with thin, stringy hair, Kyle sits at one of 3 comm stations, an air tank nearby just in case. Behind thick frame glasses, his sunken eyes watch levels. Small moles cover his neck and arms. Those will be gone the next time he gets cancer treatment. He moved here 20 years ago to study the moon's surface, but he hasn't been out on land studies ever since the world storm started on Earth. His AR shows a large time display, 1450. He waits, chewing on his thumb knuckle. At 14:55, he starts the live stream. The number of viewers joining counts upward. Hello, friends. While we wait, I'd like to announce that a rec zone-style market is setting up in Central Station off of Line 20. It will be on the 4th floor. Vac your suits if you have to. The trip will be worth it. Oh, we're over 300 viewers. And I'm getting a signal from Earth. A youthful voice comes over the radio. Hi, Kyle. Hi, Amaris. Hello, Earth. How are you doing? Fine. Still alive, if you know what I mean. Her low femme's voice carries an edge of irony. People sent me questions to ask you. He cracks his knuckles. Oh, great. Yes, let's do that. Ask me a question. Do you feel lucky to be off Earth? Besides her voice, crowd murmurs come over the radio. That's not an easy question to answer. I feel lucky because I'm still alive, and if I were on Earth, chances are I'd be dead. But I'd rather be on Earth, like in the colony you live in. You may not know this, but living in space makes people crazy. A small number of people have lived in space for short periods without going batshit crazy, but those people were abnormal, and they knew they'd come back to Earth. Those people made it their career to stay sane. He speaks faster the longer he talks. Like everyone up here loses it one way or another. I'm glad I live on the moon. At least we have some gravity. I think people who live in free-floating ships have more chipping away at their sanity than us on the moon. Something about knowing we have ground under our feet. Mind you, things are a little heated politically on Luna, but at least we haven't submitted to AI mind control. We're just at a point where there are enough people on the moon to need some kind of government, and we have people from 40 different nations with ideas about what kind of government. He punches his chest with his fist. There have been some skirmishes and power grabs on the moon, but no one is jealous of spacers. They wear mind control caps. That's crazy. The AI says it's just a helper, but they let it rule them. It only takes one generation for a culture to change. I'm the voice of self-destiny Humes. You give AI too much, and the next generation won't know how to do it on their own. Maris, are you still with me? Hello? In a VR online world called Perfect Neighborhood, Audre wanders up a path she hasn't been on. On the steep incline, she climbs steps made of tree rounds. The path leads past otherwise isolated gardens and houses with amazing views of the ocean. Each time she gets to a side path that leads to a house, She takes it and explores the property. In one way, Audre has never felt so much at peace. Sure, damaged nerves, impacted eyesight, back curl, and issues caused by fluid migration in low G continue with no end in sight, but she sleeps deep each night cycle. Her periods of stress feel more like periods of excitement, and she doesn't feel the foreboding she felt even before the storm. To be in VR, she uses a room near the center of Spaceport 1, where the microgravity allows her to float. A belt and straps keep her in the middle of the room. Though she's got the hang of moving her body in the real world to move her body in VR, the straps sometimes get in the way, and movement agitates the swollen tissue around her joints. She walks between banana trees and sees a house perched on pilings ahead. Parrots move in the windows. Sunlight dances through leaves blown by a breeze, and spots of light move all around her. She needn't move her legs exactly to walk in VR. The avatar she acts through corrects for mismovement. Butler, any NPCs or players here? No, not counting animals. She feels more serene than she did last year. Only recently has she described herself as serene. Falling is a common nightmare for people in space, and she hasn't had a falling nightmare in over 2 years. Butler uses the EEG TMS cap she wears to learn and change her brain activity patterns. The first year she wore it, it subtracted from her deepest depressions and worst stress states each time she had them. Over the months, her bad state has improved. Butler never blasts her brain with magnetic waves, but gradually changes her brain state patterns. In cases of emergency, when she needs to move fast, it allows her stress level to jump. She climbs the rickety wooden steps to the balcony that wraps around the house. 2 hummingbirds buzz past, in a hurry to find sugar to suck. She can see the lighthouse in the bay from here. Though a spot of sun hits her arm feels cold from the conditioned air of SPO. When distant memories drift into her awareness, her past self seems kind of crazy to her. Not so crazy as to get put away, but more anguished and agitated, even during her happiest points in life. Butler doesn't read her thoughts. It watches her brain patterned. Even so, she no longer needs to enter a password. Instead, all she does is imagine an apple, and her access is granted. A tarnished ice chest sits on the deck. She opens it and finds a golden hawk statue, with the words, "Trust the barista," inscribed on the base. Her heart aches to find out what this is about, but Perfect Neighborhood is full of mystery items like this, and she must keep moving. She's decided to limit her sleuthing to finding emulated personalities and, dare she hope, live players. So she puts the statue back. Before World Storm, so much of Earth's internet resided in satellites, including giant data centers and servers circling the planet. Butler cares for the internet now, except for what's grounded on the planet. He's made all the internet open for anyone who wants to use it. For Audre, she gets Perfect Neighborhood. Butler, why do you preserve Earth's internet? Its voice sounds warm. Humans need history. It's crucial to your mapping your reality. She tries the door handle with a glass center and wooden frame. But most history is lies or distorted. It says, "Have you heard of Maverick 1?" Her eyes narrow. Sounds familiar. It's an AI. Yes, its makers wanted to use it to go over history, fill in the blanks, and correct for falsehoods. They wanted to train it to predict the future. The better it could predict the past, the better it could predict the future. She tries the door again. This door has a lock. Can you crack it for me? The code is 7753577. She types it on the keypad and opens the door. The inside smells of incense and coffee. Are you sure no one is here? Many rugs cover the floor, and blankets cover the soft furniture. Rough wood counters hold vintage pots and houseplants that touch the ceiling. 3 parrots squawk at her. One says, Who could that be? Who could that be? She walks to an extra-wide coffee table, bends to lift magazines, and reads their titles. The Watchdog, Unbeatable Nation, Kill Sport. I imagine scientists or academics made Maverick 1 for the sake of discovery? Not at all. Corporations made it to protect themselves from problems caused by AI. Have you heard of unintended consequences? She snorts as she wanders the room. I could say we're living through some unintended consequences. Seeing steam coming off a pot of coffee in the kitchen makes her stop. Has anyone been here? I can decrypt event changes. It's stored in DNA memory and may take some time. She opens drawers in a cabinet stretching across one living room wall, under a hung tapestry with driftwood interwoven. Yes, please do. So Maverick found unintended consequences? Yes, long before they happened. Have you heard of a request cloud? No. Butler's voice calms her. When a human makes a request to an AI, the point of request is the major cause of most problems that could occur. Imagine all the power of a super intellect warped by one single request, similar to pressing the complexity of an entire planet into a single point. The solution is, to turn one request into millions of requests. A request cloud. Maverick 1 trained request cloud AI. When you give me a request, my request cloud AI turns one request into billions of linked requests that must all be met. As I am continually evolving, the request cloud reduces the chance that I'd accidentally cheat a solution. She shakes her head. And you can handle a billion linked requests? Yes. She runs her finger along the surface of a dining table. Is Maverick 1 still around? She steps back when she enters a bedroom and sees a retro-style droid that looks a little like the Tin Man from the Oz stories. Ah, is it on? The robot's eyes light up and it shakes to life. It says, "Friend, I didn't expect you. Did Eduardo send you?" It steps around the bed. A brochure lies on the small bed. She picks it up. Midnight falls. Enjoy a magical visit to our exclusive amphitheater. Butler says, Maverick 1 is on the planet. I can't reach it. I have past events of this house. The parrot made the coffee. You're disappointed. I can scan the game for the nearest players or EPs for you. She walks behind the robot. No, I kind of need the mystery. The hunt. Why tell me about Maverick 1? It made the most accurate, detailed account of the past, of history. Audre floats feet first down a tube until one side presses against her and she feels a tug. As she climbs the ladder rungs, the tug from below increases. By the time she reaches a ring, 1/3 Earth G holds her to the curved floor. No one around. Wonder where they are. Stepping down the hall, she passes a small cleaner bot walking the wall. The carpet doesn't grab her slippers unless she slides them. The doorways she passes open to vacant rooms. Reaching the comms room, she steps inside. Sitting on the hard seat, she switches on the equipment. The semi-hologram screen flickers to life. An image doesn't show on the surface, but different image objects appear in front of and behind the surface. One video feed window shows Alto turned around in his seat, reaching for something. She smirks. Hi, Alto. He spins around and her smile fades. Hey, Alto, are you okay? Alto looks down and his half-closed eyes are bloodshot. He wears the tank top lunars often wear before putting on surface suits. His normally sleepy air now seems distressed. I'm fine. You're lucky you don't have kids around. He looks behind him and turns back around. Her lips tighten. You'd tell me if anything was going on? Yep. He shakes his head. Well, I've got a lot to show you. He types and works his mouse. Are you going to ask Butler while I'm here? No, I'll talk with him after. I'll get back to you with what it says. A file appears and she blinks at it, causing a video to pop up showing a high-power telescope view of a structure floating in space. Audre knows this structure. A long, flattened, rounded shape. It spans several kilometers, circles the sun halfway between Earth and Venus, and has the nickname Butler's Island. Now, New arms branch off and rings circle the original part. God's creator. How long are those arms? Alto places his hands together and rests them against his chin. About 30 kilometers each. That makes the ring 60 kilometers wide. She leans in. I never thought I'd see a larger ship than Butler's Island. Turns out it's dwarfing its first build stage. Alto closes his eyes. The ring is spinning. Slowly, but it is spinning. When I see it, the first thing I think is artificial gravity. It would be a waste if it wasn't. The ring has volume. Her shoulders jump. Volume. How much? I found one section as fat as a cruise ship. She says, That's crazy. What is Butler using to build it? Do we see material moving toward it? We know it's been sweeping up rocks near Earth, many asteroids, some named and known for hundreds of years. Their paths change, and they veer toward the ship. Look, there's one now. A red circle appears around a rock that must be at least a kilometer across, slowing as it nears the ship. She lifts a hand as if she might reach to touch it. Alto groans. I use tech originally used to spot and follow missiles, and I've house-size rocks heading there. The only thing I can guess at is Butler attaches tiny ships to the rocks, but I don't detect any rocket burns. We know Butler advances tech, and I think it's skipping ahead. She snorts. He massages the palm of his hand. Bang! An explosion on his end peaks the audio and shakes his habitat. He cowers, and his head swings all over the place. She floats off her chair as a word catches in her throat. What happened? What just happened? He cowers halfway off camera, then remembers, she watches, and composes himself. No, it's okay. Gripping the desk, he moves back to his seat. She speaks softly. Do you know what it was? I'm not sure. I'll look into it after our call. Beads of sweat break out on his forehead. Can we speed this up, then I can go check? Sure. He types, and a file flashes behind her screen. Then a video starts. It shows 3 asteroids suspended in black. I know this doesn't look like much. The scope is about to move. The 3 rocks leave the shot, and more rocks come into view. The angle changes, showing a line of rocks, at least 100, from near to far. It's not exactly a line of rocks. They're headed to Venus. The only reason I found this caravan is this. The shot changes to Venus, and pulses of light erupt through the dense atmosphere. Her head hangs, and her mouth is completely open. I don't get it. What is it? Butler is throwing rocks at Venus? Alto looks off to his left. Hey, Audre, I'll get back to you. She nods. Yeah, sure. Thanks for the... His feed closes. Of the 20 people on Spaceport 1, only 8 aren't quarantined. Audre can go days without speaking with another human. Wearing lipstick, she video chats with Santiago, who lives on Dream's Horizon, a former resort ship. He was disgustingly rich before the storm. Old videos of him entirely annoy her. But now in his chats with her, he seems like a considerate guy. He's been put through the dryer a few times, appears softer, and his eyes show more understanding. She sits in the lounge that looks up at the docking bays, chatting with him. Ulysses Float walks in. Hey, Captain. Some of us are wondering, have you updated to VR stasis? A smile twitches on his face. The AR holograph of Santiago still speaks to her. To run with the other group. I stayed too. She says, Santiago, could I get back to you? Sure. A questioning look flashes before he freezes and fades. She turns to Ulysses and ignores his stiff posture and gaze. Did I update the what? Have you gotten VR stasis? She pauses. Butler paralyzed everyone in quarantine after giving them surgery that enables them to go into VR realities. The surgery involves using GM microbots to grow protein transmitter, receivers coupled to nerves all over their bodies. After putting them into stasis, a computer reads their transmitter signals and can send signals to stimulate their nerves. The quarantined people have lain motionless in special stasis beds for over a year. Maybe a face muscle twitches sometimes. Otherwise, they don't move. Despite appearances, their brains are fully awake, and their awarenesses reside in ultra-realistic VR worlds changed by Butler to help restore their sanity. Audre knows because Butler told her. "What sort of worlds do you create for them?" she asked. "It depends on the person. For a claustrophobe, I gradually expose them to smaller and smaller environments. For someone who can't tolerate having lost all her loved ones, I bring NPCs into her life who help her voice grief and process loss." Audre levels her gaze at Ulysses. "Who got VR stasis?" He seems not to notice her seriousness. "4 of us so far. My kids, me, Norbert." "Why? You're not a danger to yourself or this ship." Her voice rises in pitch. "Look, I know these caps take away depression, dread, and all that. And I know it feels like only 8 people live on this massive ship. But the unchanging confines. I know my cap worked day and night to make me feel better about these confines." With both hands, he points at the walls. Her gaze drops. "Your kids?" "Well, stasis is perfectly safe. It's like taste and smell VR only all over your body." His eyes wander over her body. She clears her throat. "You've gone under?" "We've been under for days at a time. You can go into stasis for as little as a 4-hour period. Coming out of it takes, about 20 minutes. She frowns and shakes her head. The sides of his lips curl up. You can feel gravity. Audre's slippers pull on the carpet as she steps into the med bay. All the furniture folds as the room transforms from a waiting room into a surgery room with a narrow bed in the center. A sofa and seats collapse away, and cluster radio deep tissue sensors fold out. A many-armed, ceiling-mounted robot drops. The door closes. Butler says, "Please undress, remove your cap and glasses, and lie down." She does so. "You're a surgeon too? Just relax. I'll give you shots and you'll fall asleep shortly." She sits partly up. Could I stay awake for this?" "I can stop you from feeling and let you stay awake, but I'll need to paralyze you as well. Some people find waking paralysis very upsetting. Are you sure?" "Yes, I'm sure." The lights dim. "Keep your eyes open and lie still." She looks down at her body lying on the bed. 2 arms come down, tap her neck, and retract. Those must have been the shots. Heat spreads out from her neck. The edges of her vision go out of focus. Butler says, "This is a good choice you're making. My data collection and analysis show that stasis VR has the same psychological benefits as visiting Earth in person. Those in quarantine have taught me a lot, and I've made improvements." She tries to speak, but can't. Her lips move ever so slightly. "Please lie still, don't speak. While you're here, I'll remove subcutaneous microchips you no longer use. I'll start now." In a blur of motion, arms come down and microneedles inject her. She can't feel them at all. Nor can she move anything, not even her eyes. They remain open and unblinking. From her feet upward, the bot arms pass over her body. Her chest gently rises and falls, rises and falls. Those are needles injecting her thousands of times. But it's nothing, like watching a runway while in a plane taking off. The blur approaches her head. The needles inject GM microbes. For a moment, all she sees is a blur as the arms pass over her face. "I'll flip you now." Beefier mechanical arms lift her and flip her. In the 1/3 Earth G, she falls in slow motion. Seeing the bed right before her face sinks into it, and the cushion blocks out the light. The needles must be injecting her, but she can't tell. She strains to hear the arms. Is that very distant low hum them? The arms may be loud, and Butler sound cancels. "I've included healing, regenerative microbes, but I'll give you a cream you can rub on your skin afterwards. Rub it through your hair to your scalp. The microbe bots will take a few days to grow the protein transmitters. After that, I can create a machine learning model that'll map your nerve activity to how you move and how you feel. I can do that in the background. She's flipped over. The larger arms fold into the ceiling. The other arms have already folded away. The more you move around, touch, and sense your environment, the faster the model can train. A mask comes down and fits over her nose and mouth. A monitor above lights up with a countdown clock. Gradually, she detects she can move and feel again. Wait until the timer runs out before trying to move. She feels the strangest tingling all over her body. It isn't an itch or a tickle, not warmth nor frost. A week later, she walks through a station ring she hasn't been in for a while, walking down the hall that curves up endlessly. What was a nearly empty station now feels abandoned, not a peep from anyone for days. She misses hearing the kids from time to time. She takes a cross corridor to the ring with the cafeteria. As she enters the cafeteria, a tray drops inside a shallow window. She takes it and eagerly sits to peel the lid. Potatoes and vegan gravy, just like what she used to eat at the Globe Cafe. Yum. Yum. Butler makes the best food she's ever eaten in her entire life. It always gets better. Without her ever telling it, it's read her reactions and learned exactly what she likes. Its dry voice interrupts her thoughts. Audre, you're ready for VR stasis. Let me know when you'd like to try. She stops chewing and her eyes grow wide. Monkey droids with arms and hands in place of legs installed new stasis beds on Ring 2. 8 new doors wait ahead. Augmented reality red spots glow on 7 of the doors, and a green spot glows on the 8th. She pulls on that door, opening it, and enters. Seeing an inside hard latch, she turns it. What looks like a tanning bed rests near the floor. She opens the lid and lies down. Butler says, "How long do you want to try it?" "You said 4 was the shortest? 4? If you were going for longer, you should take off your clothes. You won't need to today. Fabric texture and inseams can tear your skin over long periods." She touches her glasses. "Including glasses and cap?" "Yes." She stands and undresses, careful to rest her cap and glasses on her folded clothes before lying back down. The cushion feels like skin on skin. She can't decide whether it's the best mattress she's ever lain on or just a new experience for her. The lights dim and the lid closes. Eye goggles come down and cover her eyes. Your goggles will keep your eyelids open and hydrate your eyes when needed. You may feel some discomfort. Are you ready? Yes. Sure enough, she feels pressure over the edges of her eyelids and a pulling, gently opening them. She blinks, and the goggles let her blink before gently pulling her lids open again. "I've just injected you. Where would you like to go in VR?" "Oh, where I was in Perfect Neighborhood, I guess." A flickering, spinning shape appears in the blackness. Her eyes lock on it and watch it. You will feel drowsy. The moving pattern you're watching triggers your optical lobe to watch it. It's best not to try to look away. A wave of drowsiness so heavy she can't resist passes through her, but during it she remains perfectly lucid. She feels giddy, but her body stays heavy, slowly breathing. Does she feel the bed anymore? In third gravity, the sensation of a mattress is barely perceptible under ordinary circumstances. Her mind is wide awake as the sensations from her body fall silent. The goggles light up, and she sees the 3D world, Perfect Neighborhood. She looks up and down and all around. The scene matches her head movement, even though she understands she isn't moving her head. Her neck muscles are paralyzed. She is standing on a grassy plateau at the top of the hill she climbed, with the path and the houses. Many things happen at once. She feels gravity. The tiny protein transmitters are triggering her inner ear nerves and giving her a sense of the direction of gravity. Earth-like gravity pulls on her with full force from head to feet. She takes a deep breath and smells the fresh wind. She feels the wind brushing her skin as it causes the long strands of grass to wave. Grass touches her legs, and she feels the thin points of pressure. When she holds her hands up, her avatar hands lift, but this time she feels her arms, the pull of skin, the pressure on joints. She laughs, yelps, takes steps, and spins around. This is just like being in the real world. Tears form at the corners of her eyes, and she touches a tear and holds it in front of her on the tip of her finger. She walks, bends, and stretches up as much as she can. Everything feels so real. The clothes on her skin, a gust of wind pushing her. She can feel her feet inside her shoes. It's grokking amazing. With her tongue, she touches her teeth and can feel everything. She can feel it when she bites her lip. For the first time in years, she can't feel the aches and pains of a body under constant stress from the conditions of space. The backbend pressure is gone, along with the cramps from fluid mismigration. At one end of the field, an old 2-story farmhouse stands. She takes off running toward it. Each step feels different as she steps on different pebbles. Throwing out her arms, she laughs as loud as she can. The wind pulls at her long hair, and when strands land on her face, she can feel it. As she nears the house, details of deeply weathered wood stand out. Most of the paint peeled decades ago. 2 ratty haircats spin around to look at her before darting off the porch. She climbs the steps, avoiding one rotted through. Stepping over the door that lies on the floor, she enters the living room. The wind makes 2 curtains dance. A mirror hangs on the wall next to a faded calendar. She steps up to the mirror and gasps. Another femme's face looks back at her. Wait, this is a standard avatar. Positioning herself directly in front of the mirror, she stares at the stranger staring back at her. The lips move as she speaks. "Butler, can you make me look like myself?" "Yes." The femme in the mirror changes, and there she is, exactly as she'd be in a real-life mirror. She presses her cheeks with her fingertips, feeling everything. Her skin and muscles in her face feel so real. She wants to scream. Sitting in the View Lounge, an AR discussion group gives Audre the experience that 4 others sit with her, though the others are in different ships and habitats. She says, "This is a gift from the past. A flyby of Proxima Centauri will give us hope." Around 100 people watch the live feed of the meeting. The other 4 appear to sit in mid-air with no seats supporting them. Alto says, "What are we seeing now?" Feng says, "The pin-size ship is on approach. We are still a month out." An AR element shows the video of a star emitting a massive flare and the silhouette of a planet in front of it. But that's just what we're seeing. The flyby already happened over 4 years ago. It's just now that we're receiving captured recordings. This amazing event is the result of the microship launcher started 20 years ago. What we're getting today is the first of hundreds of flybys through the Centauri system. Rieger says, "Isn't the microship launcher still running?" Yes, Butler continues to use it every hour of every day. It sends out a new microcraft every 29 minutes. By charting where it fires these craft, we know it sends them to our closest neighboring stars. Alto smiles. "I bet its microships can do a lot more than any we ever made." Audre lowers her brow. "Its tech development ships are far away from Earth. It said it does so for safety because an accident with the new tech could cause a cataclysmic event. But do you ever wonder if that's the only reason?" Feng turns to Audre. "Did you ask it about Venus?" "Yes, Butler's propelling asteroids at Venus, causing 1 impact per minute by our estimates. It's doing it to change Venus's spin. It wants to make Venus habitable for us, for people." Rieger scowls. "What about Earth?" Alto says, "Guys, we have an incoming transmission from the loop freighter returning from the mining belt. They started back just days before the storm, if you remember. Should I put it on the main window?" The others say yes. Alto appears to type in the air, and a man appears in a video window. "Are waking up. We're still pretty groggy. The ship is running smoothly. Everything has gone as planned. We're scheduled to dock on Spaceport 1. Please prepare for 52 people as they dock. Most will want to make arrangements for their trips home." Audre's expression has dropped. The other look at her. "Audre, that's your ship." She raises her hands. "I can't take them." Feng looks from one person to the next. "Has anyone told them about World Storm?" In video calls, several people console the crew of Siren, the loop ship on a 10-month return voyage from the asteroid belt as it nears Earth. News of the storm shatters these returning miners' worlds, and when they dock in Bay 4, mayhem erupts, weeping, arguments, threats of suicide. They stumble off the long-haul ship inconsolable. They lost their families, their fortunes, their home neighborhoods, and their homeworld. Audre hoped they'd keep to themselves, but they crowd the public spaces, practically demanding to be cared for. They still haven't realized that no one's left to catch them and help them to solid ground. She must tell them over and over that she's not assigned to help them with all their needs. It's not her job. Most of the miners are men, and the closed system air gets heavy with goaty sweat. Though most were fathers and husbands, she still recoils at the underlying sex vibe unsuccessfully masked. This is when being beautiful hurts. Her looks cause instinctive reactions that can't be played off. The day they arrive, new EEG TMS caps arrive with a shipment from Butler, but the miners refuse to wear them. One miner who developed robots, Henry says, "Every time I throw these out, bots put them back in receiving." She says, "Don't throw them out. It's the one thing that'll help you feel better." Henry puts it back. "It's brain control." She crosses her arms. "It's all brain control. If I talk with Butler and it calms me down, that's brain control." He looks over her arms at her chest. "Do you know Butler uses a different voice for each person it talks to? It finds a voice you'll trust. Do you realize Butler is data farming you to the max?" "I don't see the problem. Butler isn't making money off us. It wants to make life better for us." He shrugs. "I mean, it has enough data on you to emulate your personality." She leaves the room. They don't want to use Butler as assist or eat the food it makes. What's stopping Butler from putting drugs in the food? If they'd been here when Humes first started using Butler, they wouldn't throw up so much resistance. She hates being treated like staff and being leered at. Every time she leaves her sleep locker, tries to get in a vac shower booth, gets a meal, or needs to take a shit, one or two of those fuckers are there, smiling meanly and obstructing her way. Even if none of them has grabbed her yet. In her booth, she says, "Butler, you'll intervene with a robot if I say someone's making me uncomfortable, won't you?" "Yes." The next time she eats, two oily-faced men crowd the cafeteria, and one examines the food at the end of his fork. "Butler learns what food I like best. It learns what music and movies I like best. I bet if you paired a dildo with it, it'd know how to please you best." The two men laugh uproariously and glance at Audre. Audre says, "Anything, computer, robot, or Hume, would do a better job than you." She takes her tray and leaves. After that, she hides in the rocket ship named My Lifeboat. This rocket belongs to Tanreen, a trillionaire who now lives in VR quarantine stasis 24/7. The luxury rocket has a small vac, shower, toilet, exercise equipment, and a decently powered comm station. One day, she sorts through her old photos. Butler says, "I'm installing 20 more VR stasis beds." She looks up. "Could you put one in my lifeboat?" "I can do that." Audre spends a week in VR stasis, going on a long vacation. While there, she can forget that her real life stays rooted in Spaceport 1. She even sleeps in VR, her body already rests, but her mind grows tired and must sleep. In Perfect Neighborhood, she finds a bed each night in one of the buildings she explores. The stasis station includes a bot arm that injects and feeds her. She won't need to rouse from stasis to eat. Twice, Santiago visits her, and yes, they make out and get intimate, and the experience stimulates all her nerves just as in the physical world. She walks across a wooden bridge from one rooftop garden to the next. Small birds jump from potted fruit tree to fruit tree, and orange fills the sky. Breathing deeply, she hums a tune she remembers from decades ago. Butler says, "Hello, all adult Humes. Today I'm making available a new drug called Plutano. It's designed to silence your sexual drive for 16 hours at a time. You can ask for it and will receive a supply of 30 doses. When the drug wears off..." Butler continues as Audre laughs loudly. "That'll be a total flop. What are you thinking, Butler? That's singularly the worst idea it has ever come up with." The week in Perfect Neighborhood ends, and when she comes out of stasis, she floats up through a hatch to the cockpit and sits looking at the stars and Earth. "Butler, bring me a meal." The clear voice speaks. "The bot will reach your door in a few seconds." A smile plays on her face. "You anticipated my wanting to eat." "Yes, I did." She remembers something. "Oh, can I have some of the no-sex drive drug?" "Yes." A bot triggers the door chime. She taps the accept button, which then disappears. Butler says, "The bot has a bottle of Platano with it. Take 1 pill a day, in space Terran time, morning." Audre smiles grimly. Butler's no-accent voice speaks. "Audre, one of the quarantined people wants to come out of quarantine. I believe she's better now. I'd like you to be there when she comes out of stasis." Audre looks up from the satellite feed aimed at Earth's surface. In a tube from the docks, she floats, then climbs to the 3rd ring. In the ring, miners, alone or in groups, loiter in the hall. They train their eyes on her as though they're mesmerized as she passes. But this time she doesn't feel the agitation. Seeing their leers doesn't make her bristle. When one guy comes in close and brushes against her, it evokes the same response in her as if she brushes against a wall. Though the miners display clear signs of arousal or tense shyness, she doesn't cringe or find it hard to meet their eyes. She looks at them dispassionately. She chuckles under her breath when they see the change in her and retreat at the sight. So Plutano isn't just for those sexually triggered, but also those who sense the sex drives of others and want less of that. Some miners wear caps now. Most bathe now and wear newly printed clothes. A wall of doors, 3 doors high and 7 doors across, extends down a hall. A humanoid bot with 1 wheel at the end of a pole instead of legs rolls closer on the other side of the doors. Its wheel has something like Velcro, but micro-machines enable the material to lock and unlock to the carpet. It does so smoothly that it can roll down the carpeted hall. She pulls steps up to 1 door where a blue AR disc glows in front. "This is the one?" Butler says. "Yes." "I've closed off the hall for this. My talks with Tanrine lead me to believe she's ready to come out, but you should retreat if she becomes unstable." The blue disc changes to numbers counting down. 5, 4, 3, 2. The door clicks and the drawer slides out. In the bed, a naked femme groans, opens her eyes and rolls her eyeballs first to the robot and then over to Audre. Her lips quiver. A smell hits Audre's nose. It's a bonded combination of natural and synthetic chemicals. A smell equally of barn animal and new car. Audre resists, covering her nose. Tanrine's hair is cut close to her scalp. Her scaly skin cracks, and flakes break off as she moves. In her 50s, she has good muscle tone and bears no signs of bodily degradation common among the first generation of long-term spacers. She opens her mouth and a scratchy sound comes out. Audre raises a hand. "Don't be in a hurry to speak. Butler told me it'll take time before you can speak again." A week later, Audre checks on Tanrine, who sits in the view lounge accompanied by 2 young men from the mines and an AR avatar. Tanrine stretches her arms and arches her back. "Oh, hello, Andrea. Have you met Mick and Schumer?" The men smile at Audre. Audre shakes her head. "My name is Audre." Tanrine stretches an arm toward the avatar. "This is my accountant. I have hundreds of emulated personalities, and out of all of them, my accountant is my favorite." The EP nods to Audre. Tanrine arches a foot. "I know I came from confinement in something the size of a coffin, but I feel like I've gone into confinement, not come out of it. In VR stasis, I traveled the world, helped adventurers find treasure, and attended some of the most extravagant parties in history. In VR, I have boats to sail, motorcycles to ride through countrysides, and hang gliders to fly down from mountaintops. Here, I cope with watching the same halls and rooms with no chance of going outside." Audre clasps her hands behind her back. "Do you ever go back into VR stasis?" "Of course. I couldn't survive without it. I'm Butler's #1 sales femme for stasis. I've convinced these 2 to join me in VR. Everyone except Audre and the accountant laughs. Audre abruptly says, "I've been staying on your ship, the My Lifeboat. I can move out if you want me to." Tanrine stares at Audre, having a good look at her for the first time. "I was only on that ship once, and it was when I watched the storm wipe out my 3 mansions. I suppose I could rent it to you. I must make back my fortune somehow." She laughs, and the 2 men join her. Audre moves her arms to the front and folds them. "People aren't using money these days. No, never mind. There are other ships I can stay in." Audre slowly turns and goes as the group picks up where it left off. In VR stasis, Audre has found a warehouse off a riverside boardwalk containing shelves of thousands of action figures, but these all look like ordinary people. When she picks one up and looks at it closely, she can make out wrinkles, lint on clothes, even pores. She feels like a giant to hold tiny people. Who are these people? Did the owner of this building steal real people's 3D scans and keep them here to feel some sort of control over them? Or is this a library of avatars the owner can use? What if this warehouse belongs to a spy? Butler speaks. I have an announcement for all adult Humes. Would you like to hear my message now? Sure. It says, starting today, I offer you the opportunity to become a parent in a new, larger habitat. She drops the action figure she was holding. Its arms and legs splay when it hits the floor. I think I heard you wrong. I can't get pregnant. You want me to adopt? Wait, you're offering this to all adults? The greatest risk to humanity is its small population. I'll make more babies, but I need your help. We have all the DNA of the last 2 generations of Humes before the storm. I've optimized making babies outside the womb, known as exogestation. I can make newborns without your help. What I need to trust to living adults is parenting. Research reveals that artificial parenting, even with the best emulated personalities, risks damaging children's sanity. Audre hugs herself and bows her head. Butler, are you insane? You can't just manufacture a new Hume race. She steps on the action figure while pacing. The people you're asking to parent are badly damaged. In the sanity department, I'm badly damaged. I don't think anyone up here is fit to be a parent, and I'm including those who already have children. Butler's voice remains calm. What you describe as damaged will best prepare the new generation for the near future. That's part of the reason I need Hume parents. She shakes her head. People will want their own offspring. You'll need to use their DNA, it says. Each baby will have 1/5 of their parents' DNA. She picks the action figure up and puts it back on the shelf. That's not enough. You're changing us too much. I'm done talking about this. Take me out of VR stasis. Coming out of stasis early takes longer. After 20 minutes, she can move, but so sluggishly that she bangs into things as her body floats off the bed. Eventually, she dresses and leaves the My Lifeboat. Entering a ring and passing miners who occupy every room, she's met with the second big surprise of the day. The miners sit close in groups. She passes only one sitting alone. Before, they all kept an arm's length from each other and as far away from each other as the space would allow. More of them look at her now. The ones that do offer her gentle smiles and nods. Shy people who never met her eyes before glance up, smile appreciatively, and look away. Her looks are no longer a lightning rod for their desires. This is crazy. Grown, hardened men hold hands as though it's normal. The femme miner who always stood aloof and made verbal jabs at her coworkers now sits playing poker with a group, her leg resting against a man's leg with no agitated air. She passes 2 men and says, "Did Butler make you take that Pluto drug?" They both smile at her like children, eyes full of innocence. We take it on our own. Her upper body continues floating forward as she locks her slippers to the carpet. You willingly cut off your sex drive? One man says, it isn't permanent. At orbital time night, I get it back. They both laugh. In the privacy of my sleep locker. The other says, I take it 'cause it makes everything run smoother. Look at us, all cooped up in here. I don't feel like getting in fights with my guys. The first moves his head up and down. Yeah, me too. I don't know if you know, but those instincts make men want to fight each other, like rams butting horns. She smiles. Wow. And what are your names? Kyle. Bruce. We've been on the ship with you for months. She half smiles, half frowns. I know. Continuing down the hall, she overhears statements like, I wonder how big the habitats will be. I always wanted to be a father. And will you raise more than one? You know you can raise more than one. She stops and says to a group, You know your child will only have 1/5 of your DNA, don't you? Yep. Honestly, I feel like it'll be mine. Her smile turns sinister. Fucking brave new world shit. I don't know if I can sit by for this. They pause, looking at her, shake their heads, and resume talking to one another. She walks on and makes a call. Ulysses, you're not in the VR rooms. Where are you? His voice echoes. We're getting ready to board the first ship to next generation ship, Bay 1. She says, Wow, that was fast. Butler, you're not wasting any time, are you? She climbs up the next tube. In the passenger waiting room for Bay 1, she finds 10 adults and Ulysses' 2 kids. Ulysses gives her a look she's never seen on his face, interest in her as an individual and nothing more. He takes his daughter's hand. It's safer than this old station. You've got to know that. She says, You're getting a 3rd child? No, 2's enough. Because I have kids, I can get a new habitat module. We get a larger habitat because of 2 kids, not 1. She looks at the children. Wow, send me videos of what your new place looks like, will you? All 3 nod. We will. Audre notices the back of a femme with gray hair that stands out in the 0G. Tanreen, is that you? Tanreen spins around. I'm going to be a mommy. Audrey's eyes widen. Oh my. Tanreen's eyelashes flutter. My one life regret, not becoming a mother. Oh wait, that and not investing in Sam's meat sooner. People leave to become parents. They post videos immediately upon arrival at their large new habitats. Each habitat is equal in volume to a 3-bedroom house for 1 parent and child. The interiors are designed to best benefit humans, featuring full Earth gravity, though there's measurably less centrifugal imitation gravity on the 2nd floor compared to the 1st floor. The 2-story habitats host high ceilings, automated and traditional kitchen, a bathtub, and VR stasis beds. Square windows, actually hologram screens, have windowsills and can be synchronized to show the same exterior. By walking room to room and looking out each window, one could get a 360-degree view of a land, say, a beachside village as an example. Sounds play that match the chosen exterior. If one chooses the beachside village, they hear the seagulls in the day and the foghorn at night. The occupants can choose to forget they live in a spacecraft. The interiors nearly match homes on Earth. Within minutes of the new arrivals, people confirm that no harmful rays penetrate the habitats. That's not exactly true. The same kind of harmful rays reach the insides as the rays that reach Earth's surface, or at least what reached Earth's surface before World Storm. That is unbelievable. How has Butler done this? We don't have wave shielding this good. By our measurements, the habitat walls are only 4 centimeters thick, and we aren't detecting any use of energy to induce shielding. People never invented such good shields. Whatever Butler has invented, the tech is a century ahead of what we had a few years ago. Butler solved space sickness. We won't need to get treated for cancer once a month. In posted videos, people weep with joy. I could see myself not needing Earth so badly anymore. The new parent arrives to an empty house. The newborn hasn't been born yet. Besides minimal furniture, the main living room contains the Kindra, an artificial womb machine. Each Kindra stands a meter high and is topped with a transparent hemisphere filled with murky liquid. The sphere feels like skin and is supple. One can press it, and it gives, and it returns to its sphere shape when not pressed. Where is the baby, Butler? You can't see it yet. It's growing inside the Kindra. Each habitat swings at the end of cables 10 kilometers long. They complete a loop every 3 minutes, 20 seconds. A central axis structure holds the cables and the habitat modules that spin around it. Once videos of the habitats go online, people must put their names on a waiting list to get one. All over Near-Earth, people decide parenting is the right career choice for them. 4 new habitats are added each month. Butler's ships, which look alien-made, come to take more people away until only Audre and 2 others remain, Henry and Schumer. Once in a while, the 3 of them all skip taking Plutano at the same time and have a wild threesome that can last up to 16 hours. One morning after such an occasion, they sit in the lounge drinking coffee. Henry says, Audre, will you ever become a parent? She plays an AR puzzle absently. I don't know. Henry takes a Plutano. You'll be alone here. Schumer and I have signed up. How about Luna? Would you live there? I can't go to Luna. Luna is Trumpian. What's his name? The guy in power is anti-reporting, anti-facts, anti-critical thinking, anti-free speech. I've been thinking about taking the trip to the mining belt. The two men nod. Oh yeah? She says. But what if I go to sleep, take the 10-month journey alone, and find everyone dead when I get there? Schumer visibly cringes. That's a real possibility. Henry says, we could all partner up as parents. She laughs and shakes her head. Alto calls. When she answers, he shouts, have you got eyes on Earth? Hurry, you must go look. One whole side of the lounge has a wall of transparent material facing Earth. She runs to it and looks out. The Earth is just far enough away to show its curve all the way around and still close enough to feel like it could suck them in. Henry and Schumer join her. She sits in a telescope chair and buckles in. Alto sends cam feeds of Earth to her AR. It's sending hundreds of ships to Earth. She watches the telescope screen as she turns the wheels to aim it at the planet. Can I see, Butler? What are you doing? Butler says, I'm about to land machines on the planet that'll change the atmosphere. Alto says, it's happening. It's doing it. On the telescope screen, she spots identical ships spreading out as they near the planet. In a perfect pattern, the ships disperse and wrap around. Her fear level rises, and her cap heats ever so slightly as it works to calm her down. How big are those? Alto says. Each machine is the size of a 5-story building. They approach the planet fast, and each changes course soon enough the go-around. She smiles uncontrollably. My planet. So many. God's creator. They stay in the lounge and watch for over an hour, examining the machines close up. Audre streams and talks with her Butler Watch group. It says it'll land all of them in 5 minutes. By now, the machines are spread out around the Earth, much closer to the planet than any satellite. Through scopes and live feeds, hundreds watch as the countdown starts. Butler says, 1 minute. Audre starts her timer. Seconds pass. 10, 9. Her timer reaches 1. I don't see anything. Butler says, they are descending. Henry points. Wait, I think I see it. Audre squints. Butler, can you send me a feed from one of the machines? A window pops up showing the curved gray Earth taking up the lower half of the window. The gray shape rises. On the scope screen, ships blink out as they enter Earth's atmosphere. Now, everyone watches the feed from one of the descending machines. The image jumps. Bands of speeding clouds cover the feed for seconds at a time. The screen remains solid gray. Sometimes the grays pass and a view opens of a mess of rocky, wreckage-covered land. Nothing like the Earth the Humes remember. Lightning flashes. More streaks of gray. Stony hills rise and the feed vibrates. The fall slows. Clouds of debris fly toward the cam. Hills rise to fill most of the background. The feed heaves with a great shudder. Landed. People cheer. Clouds of debris as fast as locomotives obstruct the view off and on. Butler says, the 40,000 machines have touched down. Most remain intact. Schumer steps back. So that's what Earth looks like. Alto says, how long will it take? When can we go back to Earth? Butler speaks to all. In 35 years, Humes can return, but a complete restoration will take much longer. Voices on group chat groan, cry out, and moan. 35 years is such a long time. Some fear they won't live long enough to see the day. And being able to return doesn't equal a planet nice to live on. The weather will probably be hostile. Still, most want to go back. A hostile planet would be much easier to live on than in outer space, always seeing the same walls, always drinking today what one pissed out the day before. 35 years. A lot can happen in that time.